Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me just set up my recorder and we'll get started. Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus. Oh, I didn't save the file. Hang on, let me fix it. I'm early, so you got to forgive me. I thought I did save the file. So let me fix it. 2 seconds. It's not 9:30 yet. All right, there we go. CB Consumer. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus, CB Consumer Confidence. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes, so trade carefully, please. And good morning, everybody. Yuri, good morning. New Trade Room member. Nice to see you in the room. And we are streaming on Facebook. Today is our weekly stream, so I want to say hello to everybody on Facebook. I mean on YouTube. Thanks for watching. And if you want to hit that like button, that would be nice. Also, I just want to remind everybody we have a new challenge starting April 10th, and it's free. 5-day challenge, and it's going to be free. Here is the link. If you want to sign up, it's not even, it's a you can pre-register for it. We'll be going live in a couple of days, but you could get on the early registration list. There's the link. So let's talk about CB Consumer Confidence this morning. So if you notice that the forecast is for over 100. So a forecast of over 100 is positive, okay? That's generally good. Let's check gold this morning. Gold is on the verge of rolling over. So I just want to take a look at gold and the volume this morning. I bet you it's mixed volume today. So the next gold contract is going to be 6. So I know that I've already added gold. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. GC 623. See, I've added it. So let's say, well, Ninja will email you on the day that they think it's rollover. It'll be tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is actually official. It looks like rollover's tomorrow. If you do testing, remember they send an email, and the Ninja Trader email has a box. Don't check the box. Uncheck the box. In other words, I forget what the message is. The message is something like, here's the new contract, and the box is checked. Uncheck the box. Uncheck it anyway, because maybe one day you'll start to do testing on trades. If you leave the box checked, it removes the previous contract. If you uncheck the box, then it leaves the current contract. And you can always just add the new one if you need to by going to Tools, Instrument List, click down to Futures, click on Add, and just type GC 0 space 0623. I've already added it, so it tells me I've already added it, and then you can OK it. Now, I have not updated to the new version of Ninja Trader yet. Anybody in here? Has anyone in here updated to the new Ninja Trader and you're using software, all of our software and indicators? Have you had any problems? I'm just curious if anybody in this room has upgraded to the new version of Ninja Trader. It's been out almost a month, 3 weeks at least. Hey, Roz. Um, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that's downloaded that's updated it yet. So many things are changed. Doc, you've downloaded it, and is everything working okay? Have you had any problems? Okay, you haven't had any problems. So I'll probably upgrade this week. Um, that's my gut feeling. I'll probably upgrade this week. They've moved a lot of things on the website. So what happens is when I go and try and show everybody where things are, they're not in the same place anymore. It's kind of a pain, but I think ultimately we have to upgrade. All right, let's talk about consumer confidence. So we did our testing. We did a lot of testing this week. Consumer confidence, the DMM looks really good. The trade is not great. We've been testing trap trades, but it's okay. I mean, I would say that it's okay. I'm going to trade the DMM. That's how I'm trading this report. This was February. February was pretty mediocre. So let me just show it to you. We also have a trap trade on the ES, but it's not official yet. Probably maybe I'll do a MES test today. But you could see that last month gold did a big low liquidity burst. It was a big offset. The consumer confidence was lousy compared to what they expected. It did a very big burst and it had a good reversal. It did have a good reversal, but this has not been a great gold trap trade. The testing just not great. So the breakout, we were able to get 6 ticks last month as a breakout, and then the month before, going into January, excuse me, January, if my memory serves me well, if you're patient and don't go crazy moving the stop immediately, we survive the stop, okay? And eventually watch what happens. It's gonna go up. It's gonna work. And the news was worse than expected, which could push gold to the upside. You also had a high of the day that was getting ready to be tested. So we have a similar situation right now, but I think gold's going to test that high before the report. Okay. I do believe gold's going to test this high soon, in a couple of minutes. In a couple of minutes. That's what it looks like. And it tested it pretty recently. It made the new high after the open this morning. Gold had a pretty strong open. You can see it. Made a new high. So that is not as good of a magnet trade as normal. Okay. Just not as good, but it probably is going to go test this high before, I think, before the report. So I don't think the report's going to be a factor. in the new high. So I have two things I'm interested in doing this morning. Let's look at the DMM. So it was a very nice move last month. You had to be patient, though. You had to be patient. So we've got a bracket of 8. So how do you enter a DMM into the software? Right-click the chart. Right-click the chart. Double-click strategies. Double-click JOBB version 10. Okay. We're trading a breakout trade. Here's our setup. All right. Our activation time is 9:59:59. Our bracket is 8. And we've got 2 positions. And our first target, I think that first target's pretty darn small. I'm going to go for 7. And I'm going to go for 18. And I'm going to use a slightly bigger stop. I want to use at least a 13 stop. I think 10's a little small for these markets. Okay. Even 13 is probably small. That's what I'm going to use as my setup. I think a target of 5 ticks on the first target is a little bit small. Look at the moves when it has a winner. The moves, 50 ticks, 30 ticks. You know, that's why I'm going for not a very big first target. Okay. Not a big first target. And then our second target, 18 plus 8, is 26 ticks. There were 2 winners in December that didn't go 26 and November that didn't go 26. January only went 30. So I think 18 is reasonable. Okay. 18 is reasonable. Be prepared maybe to manage your way out of the trade if we don't get a big burst. Okay. So a breakout trade, 9:59:59, a bracket of 8, 1 position for 7 ticks, a second position for 18 ticks, a stop of 13. Then I'm going to slide down and I'm going to label the trade gold CB. All right. And I am going to trade this live. I'm going to make sure my account warnings are turned off, uncheck them. And I'm going to save the template. Click template, save. I'm going to call it CB Consumer GC Breakout, today's date. Now, I came into my office this morning, turned on my computer, BIOS update, hardware update. I think it's a miracle that everything's working normally this morning. I had to redo my machine ID. I had to redo all my connection IDs, configurations. I've never seen that happen on any computer that I've ever owned. I swear I've never had a BIOS update, an automatic BIOS update. I've never had that happen in years. I was really surprised. Anyway, let's check our bracket width. And I do want to thank everybody that's watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button, folks. Not a single person hit the like button. Give us a like. We're trading live, real money on YouTube. You can watch for free. Stream of the week. So I'm going to check my account, my width of my brackets by setting the time to 0. First two numbers are 0. Charts are on sim, so we don't accidentally enter into a trade early. When I enable a trade, see with the brackets, with the time at 0, it puts my brackets on the chart and it gives us an idea how volatile is gold right now. And it's kind of quiet. If anything, it's not bad. So I think our bracket should be good. It should be safe. We didn't test the high, so we could still get a test. I think I'd rather have bad consumer confidence and a burst to the upside. I think I'd rather see that because maybe we'll then get a test of the high, if you follow me. So, from a technical analysis viewpoint, which we don't do a lot of technical analysis on news trades, but in this particular case, if you look at what happened 2 months ago in January, a little bit of the same technical analysis. You had the high of the day above where we were. The only difference is you had a slight negative trend on gold coming into the trade. Today we're positive. But what happened was the news was negative, which should sometimes push gold to the upside. And that's what happened. It pushed up. Look where the target was, right at the high of the day. I should have left it there, to be honest. I definitely should have left the target there because it made sense if we had the patience, right? Because that wound up being a good news trade that used the chart technical analysis. And then the ES trap trade, it actually worked pretty well also. So we've got a setup. Our brackets are good on gold for the trade. So I'm going to put my charts back to normal and I'm going to get them on live. So we're 959.59. A bracket of 8. Position size 1 is a 1. Position size 2 is a 1. Target 1 is 7 ticks. Target 2 is 18 ticks. Stop is 13. Okay. Our stop is 13. And my account warnings are off. Where are they? Account warnings enabled, unchecked. And then account is on live. I hope I don't have a problem here. Hang on. Hang on, folks. I have something going on with my Ninja. I have to reboot my Ninja. It's not letting me choose live for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not connected. Let's see. Oh, I was connected. Hang on. Something happened. Bear with me. All right. I'm connected now. Okay, good. I don't know how I got disconnected. I'm losing my mind here. All right. Let's backtrack. Let's go back. Double check our strategy. It's a breakout trade. We're activating at 9:59.59. Bracket of 8. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Target is 7. Target of 18. stop of 13. Putting my charts. What the heck? It will not let me choose my live charts. Okay, I'm going to reboot my Ninja. Now my charts. Oh, okay. So I have a problem. I apologize. So something happened with my Ninja, and it's has to do with the fact that I had a BIOS update. Okay. So it made a change. It turned on my global simulation mode. So now, one more time, I'm going to check my strategy. Breakout trade 959.59. Targets of 7 and 18 with a stop of 13. And now I should be able to choose the proper charts. There we go. Okay, now I'm on live. Make sure that my time is back to normal, 9:59:59. Apply it, okay it. Now, I am testing a trap trade on the ES, not live. Clicking strategy, clicking trap trade, and my tiers are 10 and 20. So position size 1 is a 1, position size 2 is a 1. Account warnings are off. The time of the event is 10 o'clock. And I'm calling it ES trap. And my tiers, tier 1 is 10, tier 2 is 20, and my stop is 18. And that's a test on the ES, test only, okay? The trap, it worked great last month, but they have not been reversing all that well over time, okay? So it's okay as a test. We'll see how it goes. I'm trading the breakout live. Let's check our time sync. All right. We're going to check our time sync by going to the website. Time is, my computer is in sync. Now, for new people here, if you've never been here before or if you forgot, the trade room has a folder called the room drive. If you click on that room drive, you'll find a file called D4 time, and you'll find a file called PT sync setup. PT sync setup is, what's her name? What's the name of the woman? Karen's time sync. Right, Karen. Karen's time sync, and D4 time is dimension 4. 2 free programs that you could use to help put your computer in sync if you're trading events, appointments, making appointments. You want to be in sync, right? You want to be in sync. This high of the day could be a factor, all right? It could be a factor. Gold is up, certainly bullish from the gold open, but it was bullish before the gold open, all right? So we'll see if there is, if we get any help, if we get a long fill, maybe that high of the day will help to pull the price towards the high of the day. That's something normally we don't talk a lot about technical analysis during a news trade, but it is possible that we could see that happen. It's possible. It's a little bit far. It's a little bit far. It's more than $4. Let's take a look at. I have a losing trade, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but in October, we did not have a winner. And let me show you what it looked like. In October, it had a whipsaw, and it was a normal stop, nothing out of the ordinary. What happened is it just barely filled us, it looked like, and then changed direction. So sometimes that could happen. That was back in October. It changed direction on us. So we've got about 5 minutes before the news comes out. They are expecting a forecast of 101, okay? Anything above 100 is considered good. Under 100 is, not considered real good. So the fact that the consumers are a little bit positive, we'll see what the actual result is compared to the forecast. As you all know, that's what creates the move, right? That's what creates the reaction. It's the actual result compared to the forecast. Normally, that's what creates our reaction. Okay. So consumer confidence, certainly it's been hitting the first targets. When you look at the DMM, it has been, it has been on winners. It's had nice spikes. It has had nice spikes. Okay. 50 ticks in February, eventually 30 ticks in January. But February was a tough trade though. It still was not an easy winner. If you look at February again, we have a minute here. February had a lot of slippage and low volume on the burst. It had a big burst, but it was extremely poor liquidity because you could see a big burst and a bad filled all the way up the candle. But fortunately, it kept pushing up, and that's why we were able to grab some profit. It kept pushing up. Okay. And the ES kind of took its time filling in February. Did it fill at all? Let's see. Yeah, it did eventually fill, and then it changed direction for a pretty decent reversal. So we'll see. We'll see how the ES trap winds up doing. We have a gold breakout. And gold is a little bit bullish, somewhat bullish today. Gold has had quite a ride with all of the Fed behavior and the FOMC statement, all of the bank statements that we've been going through. Gold has been extremely extremely volatile over the past couple of weeks, especially. No surprise there. So once again, they're looking for 101 on the forecast. So, if we get something in the 90s, that would be considered bad, very negative consumer confidence. Not sure. I don't know what we're going to get. I never like to guess. I definitely don't like to guess what the news is going to be. My gut thinking is I'm not thinking that consumers are fanatically positive these days with all the banking issues that people are worried about, all the layoffs. Uh, I would think consumers would be worried right now. There's a lot to worry about. So it is difficult, certainly to predict. Never try to predict what the consumer's doing. Now, Richmond, I'm not even looking at Richmond. It already came out. It's almost always early. It is -10. Richmond came out early. So our brackets will show up in a few seconds. There's our trap trade. Just let that play out by itself. And then consumer confidence seems to be late. No response. Not hearing any news having come out. It's late. It's late. Okay, it's very negative. It's pretty negative. I don't think I want to be filled on the downside. That's why I pulled my orders away. I may be wrong, all right? But I may be wrong. I may have ruined this trade. I already made a decision. I don't want to be filled on the downside because it should have pushed to the upside. I would cancel out of this trade, folks. It's not a good response. I'm not interested in being filled to the downside, and we're not getting a burst to the upside. So let's cancel. It's not responding the way we expected. The news was also very late. Better off. We'll wait for our next trade. It's too far away, I think, from the high of the day for that high of the day to have a big effect on this report. So we're already almost 2 minutes after the news, and you could see that there just was not a very big response. Interestingly, the ES barely filled, it looks like, but it may have filled enough. Let's watch that ES trap. This was not a normal response. The news was very, very positive, and I didn't want to be filled short because, I might have made a mistake. I didn't want to fight against the trend in gold this morning. I just feel that the trend in gold this morning is too strong. And maybe I'm right. It's moving a little bit. It's moving a little bit. It is moving a little bit. And it should actually, I said it should push up. It should push down based on that news. The news is positive, very positive, which should push gold down. But I was a little bit concerned about the issue of gold being so bullish. And the news was late, a slow response. You could say maybe we could have just sat in it. Looks like it would have worked. Looks like it is working to the downside. So there's the response. So I'll take my I'll take my, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll take my punishment for maybe overthinking this trade. I definitely overthought the trade. We'll watch the video. Let's watch the video in a minute, but look at our trap trade on the ES. It was perfect. I would cancel the outer tier now. Cancel the outer tier. I would move my orders further away, get my target, move my target further away, and trail my stop if I'm allowed to trail this stop. Now, why didn't I trade the trap trade? Because honestly, the testing, it hasn't been doing as well as it is over the past two trades. Now it's starting to be a really good trap trade. So we'll probably, seriously consider adding it for next month because we've had two very good ES trap trades in a row. So it's probably worth adding it. Now you could see gold, it got down to under 1963, but the ES as a trap, very good. Single tier, just one tier, and it would have been a very nice winner. Very nice winner. All right. So we'll make a note of that. Let's see where let's look at the video and see what we gave up on gold, if anything. Hang on, let me render this video. So look, there's a couple of rules that we loosely follow. And I say loosely because you don't want to put everything in stone, right? Everything is not in stone. Now, my first thought is, I want to be truthful here. My first thought is I was thinking the news was negative. It was positive. And I really made a mistake, if you want to know the truth. I probably should have just stayed in because the news was positive. It could have pushed price to the downside. Okay, let's look at the video. But I was also concerned that gold was so bullish. It opened very bullish at 820. But the big thing was the news was late. I truly hate when news is late. It definitely almost always doesn't react properly when the news is late. You just get a weird reaction so many times when news is late. So let's watch and see what happened because it was extremely late. 10 seconds is extreme with US news. It's almost always released properly. Okay. So here's what happened. All right. So we're waiting for the news. Now, the news is not out. It's not out. And the market is acting like it's not out. It's not bursting. It's not dropping. It's not popping. It's not doing anything. The trap trade isn't filling on the ES. 20 seconds, no news. It's still not out. How do I know? Because I did not hear it in my headset. I'm listening to the Financial Juice Pro headset, okay, their Squawk Box. The news is still not out. 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds. What's our cancel rule on CB consumer confidence? Most trades do have a cancellation rule. Consumer confidence is a 20-second cancellation rule. That's a loose rule, okay? Loose. In theory, this was a canceled trade, but the news wasn't out. The cancellation rule, very honestly, it's supposed to be if the news is out. It's not supposed to be a cancel rule based on the fact that the news didn't come out. You follow me? It's a big difference. So on one side, you could say it's not an official cancel because the news was late. And then finally, it was about 38 seconds. The news comes out, barely, barely moves the price. Now, our our order was at 1964. That's where our short would have been. Okay. That's where our short would have been. So let's just watch what happened here. I didn't want to go short, but I wanted 100% transparent. I made a mistake and I tried to bluff my way out of it. All right. Let me be brutally honest. I made a mistake. I tried to bluff my way out of it by saying, I thought it was bullish. I was worried that it was bullish, but I misread the news. It was 104 versus 101 forecast. In theory, I should have stayed in the trade because it was good news, should have pushed gold down. The fact that there was no response, though, extremely makes me extremely worried. The news is out right here. Watch. The news is out. There's virtually no response. That's when I mistakenly moved my order out of the way. Okay. But remember, 1964 is our fill. We're still not filled. Still would not now. Right there, we're filled. 50, it was about 20 seconds. It was about 20 seconds after the news came out. So let's see if it was a cancel official. Let's do this right, okay? It was really close to official cancel also. And I might have honored that cancel because it was a weird reaction. There was no fill until right there, about 20 seconds after the news came out. Then it didn't follow through. Okay. We had a 13 tick stop, so we didn't get stopped. We'd still be in the trade. Filled at 64, I would think. Should have been filled at 64. Definitely no stop. And the price gets down to 63.60, 63.10. Looks like the price gets down to about 62.70. So we would have hit our first target. Okay. It could have hit the first target if you stayed in the trade, and then it did a complete change in direction. Okay. In theory, if we are 100% transparent here, 100%, I could have stayed in that trade and it would have hit my targets. That's the reality. It would have hit target one right here, right here. Then it goes all the way up to 60, not even 65. So it wouldn't have hit the stop. The stop would have been 65.30. Okay. So we would have survived that change in direction. Most probably, I would have moved my stop to protect the first target of 7 ticks. So honestly, folks, if we were totally honest, it was a 7-tick winner on gold. That's the truth. But it was very unusual. It was potentially a cancel. Potentially, I made a mistake misreading the news and the direction. That's being honest. Okay. And that's the reality. And the trap trade actually on the ES was phenomenal. So that's what happened this morning. That's what happened. That's 100% transparency and honesty. And I would have expected gold to, at least since it didn't burst down, I would have expected it to drift down like it did. And my mistake was I did misread. I did misread the news. But I still will say I was concerned about it possibly getting pulled to the high, but it was far enough away from the high that I don't think it played that much of a factor. All right. So, Brian, I'm trying to make sense out of what you said. I don't think you made a mistake. You were watching the NQ, and the numbers for consumer confidence on NQ changed. Brian, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. Now, the NQ and the ES, we know the ES had a reversal, okay? It was way better as a trap trade. The ES was an excellent trap trade. I don't see them having changed, Brian. I saw 104.2 on the news numbers, and that was it. I saw 104.2. Or are you saying that they came out negative first? That maybe I'm not crazy? Let's watch the video. Maybe I'm not crazy. I don't think I could see it on the video. Maybe I'm not crazy, folks. Hang on. I'm looking now for the truth about the numbers. I'm not sure we'll be able to see them. So right here, I'm looking to see if we could see the numbers that came out. Brian's saying they changed. I thought that they were negative, not positive. That's what I thought. So let's see. No, I'm seeing they came out at 104.2, Brian. So I think that I misread them. I think I did misread them. So Richmond was negative. Yes, I agree. But Richmond, Lewis, doesn't affect the markets. Richmond doesn't affect the markets. It's such a minor report that I wasn't even looking at it today. It doesn't have an effect. Either way, it could have been a small one target winner on gold. That's if we're 100% honest. And an excellent trap on the ES. Excellent trap on the ES. So I will probably add that trap on the ES. Okay. I'll add that trap on the ES. So thank you everybody for watching us on YouTube. Hit that like button on your way out if you don't mind. Hit that like button on your way out. Everybody else, we'll be back at 4 p.m. We'll be back at 4 p.m. for the API report. And then we'll be back in the evening for Australia CPI also. Okay. So I'll see everybody later. A little bit of confusion on the CB consumer. I'll take the responsibility. I will take the responsibility. All right. So I'll see everybody at 4 for the next event. So I'll see everybody later. All right, folks. See you in a little bit. And don't forget, if you want to sign up for the trade, our free challenge, and it should be a lot of fun. 5-day challenge starting April 10th. Definitely will be a lot of fun. Okay, I'll see everybody later. 4 o'clock in the room. 4 o'clock. Take care, folks.